And hello to all my friends. I'd like to welcome you in. My name is Scott Sagent, and today I'll be doing your Quadrants video for 2023, the much-awaited Quadrants video. So what is a quadrant and how does it apply to you? Well, each sign is getting your own video, your own divination. I've done all the heavy lifting and all the reading stuff ahead of time, so you'll notice I don't even have a tarot card on this table. That's all been done. We're just going to go over your notes here. So what is a quadrant? A quadrant is a quarter of a circle. So if we look at your year, like the full encompassing circle, we're going to take a piece of the pie out of that and break it down one quarter at a time. Each quadrant is going to represent 3 months of your year. The first quadrant is going to be January, February, March. The second quadrant will be April, May, June. The third will be July, August, September. And the fourth, of course, October, November, December. Now, of course, if you're great at taking notes, you only have to kind of watch this video once. You take some awesome notes that you can refer back to. For everybody else, this video will be up permanently. It's not going anywhere. So you can come back to reflect on your quadrants as they happen. I think it's best to check out your quadrant right before the new one starts so you can reflect back on the one that just passed and also get your new information for the one that you're about to live so you can remember and kind of refresh. So either way you're going to do that will be just fine. And let's go over a couple important other things here. Of course, this is the only time of year that I do quadrants it's basically because I go out a whole year. And the further out you go and the further out you look in divination, the fuzzier it gets. I think that's pretty much self-explanatory to everybody. Most people understand that. And for that reason, I usually don't divine out this far. I don't extrapolate out for 12 months. Usually I do like 6 at the most. So this is the only time of year that I do that, first of all. And, divination forecasting here is an outline. So this is not the specifics of your entire year, but it presents an outline that you can plan and prepare very important things too. So for example, we're going to look at things like vacation amongst 10 other topics here. So what is the best quadrant for you to take a vacation in? Spirit's going to figure this out by your sign and give you a couple bingos here, a couple little peaks or little marks here, little check marks on the map of when this would be the best time for you guys, for your sign to do that. Of course, this is a general reading and we have a lot of bubble energy tuning in to your sign, and that muddles it up a little bit. So that's why you really need a personal at the end of the day. And quadrants for the first time is being offered as a personal product, an audio product, so that way you have a keepsake and something to refer back to as well. But it's all about you and that. So what else are we going to talk about here? First of all, it's going to be generally a positive reading. The reason I do that, I don't do all just positive readings. Some people do that. I don't. I kind of give you the whole thing. But to keep this kind of short and concise, we cannot talk about every single thing that is going to happen in your year. And both, whether we talk about good or bad things, they're both good for planning and preparation, because the bad things you would just try to avoid and the good things you would just go and move towards. Because at the end of the day, they're both functional. They both get the job done, but one is much better well received than the other. Much people would gravitate toward the positive, and hey, if it was a reading that was all about negativity, nobody wants to hear that. And then there would be those people that would be scared of certain events, and that just doesn't help. That only kind of brings it in more. It attracts it more. So we don't want any of that stuff. So this is going to be a relatively positive reading, long story short. Okay, so without further ado, now that you understand the ground rules, let's get moving with planning and preparing for your year. Okay, Virgo, it is Quadrant 2023 time for you. Now, you're going to notice there's no cards here. It's because they're all safely in the display case there. I've already done all that. The work's all done here. I got my notes. We're basically going to rattle it all off in boom, boom, boom style and get it going. And that way, just get you the information, get you on with your year. Otherwise, this reading would take 3 times as long. So let's get to it, guys. The first thing that I noticed looking across the whole thing is, wide, zoomed out approach is how full Quadrant 3 is with information. Quadrant 3 is going to be July, August, September. You guys are full here, kind of moving into Virgo season, but also before. It's just going to be a very, very, a lot. Well, we're going to get to that, what that information is, but there's a lot of activity going on. Spirit wanted to talk about for you. The other months are much quieter by comparison. The other thing I noticed off the bat is how love corner for Virgo for the year of 2023 is kind of eh. This is not really it. If I'm going to summarize it, this is not really the best year for Virgo love. It doesn't mean that it's going to hit everybody the same way. It doesn't mean you cannot find love if you're a Virgo that's looking for it. It just means that, maybe this isn't the greatest time for most people. Even if you're in a relationship, you're coupled up, you're married, whatever, this is not going to be the most gloriful, rainbows and unicorns type of year for the family. It doesn't mean it's going to be the worst either, okay? It's just, we still are reading for that love corner. It does come up in 3 and 4, but the messages are a little bit lower term. It's not like, oh, you're going to find the love of your life, or your relationship is going to boost to new great heights, the sun card and stuff like that. They didn't show that. So that's why I say the love kind of for 2023 is just, it's just okay, So let's get moving with quadrant 1, guys. The main theme for the entire 3 months of January, February, and March is really peaceful, relax, vacation energy, as well as timing. Timing is the key. Knowing when to strike, when to pull the trigger with things, when to hold back and wait. Being kind of very decisive with your mentality, with your decision making. And when I say peaceful, relaxed vacation energy, they want to make sure that you're balanced. And that is a good way to balance through busyness. They didn't show busyness here, but maybe you were busy before. Maybe there's other things going on for different Virgos that, you just have to make sure you relax because of something going on. You don't want to get too out of, spun. You don't want to spin out. You don't want to get out of whack. You don't want to overwind yourself and get stressed out by whatever is going on. Now, we only got 2 pings that came up, and one of them was for vacation and relax. And they talk about hanging out and building. So this feels more like a staycation to me, something that you would do at your home, maybe take some time off from work in quadrant 1 and work toward building something else. For a lot of you, this will be like a home project or a hobby or an interest, something that you are passionate about is what you're usually building here on your time off. So you're kind of finding a way to still work just on the stuff that you care about instead of your job that you might have to do by necessity, right? Something like that. So we just kind of have hanging out for a vacation in quadrant 1 and building something, working on something. We do have another ping here for quadrant 1 coming in on the safe and conservative column, and this is doing things, dotting the I's, crossing the T's, and really kind of doing things that connect here. Basically, you're bridging gaps. You're kind of filling in holes that were missing, getting things done, but it's almost like there are things in between the things that have to be done. Maybe little everyday things. You get it, a room cleaned up, and then you end up, that creates a new project for you. Like, oh, I found this collection. I forgot I had this. Now I got to do something with this. So it's like you're dotting your I's and you're crossing your T's and being thorough with what you're doing. So, okay, yeah, the room is clean, and you got that hobby project that you forgot about addressed, maybe put up on a shelf somewhere instead of in a box somewhere, or maybe just donated or repurposed. So you're getting things in between done. So it's kind of in between projects, maybe a lot of projects going on at the same time, and you're really trying to figure out how to get stuff accomplished these first 3 months, and that is very good advice for Virgos to do. That is actually all the chit chat they wanted to do there. Quadrant 2. Quadrant 2, the main theme for the circle here of quadrant 2 of that slice of pie is defending your position with work. So it's important for you to not take any flack from people this quadrant, not let people run all over you, take advantage of you, treat you badly. Good time to know your worth and hold it, retain it. Really don't, like I said, don't take any junk. The work situation is going to be one where it makes me feel like you're under attack in a certain regard, or maybe somebody's trying to take something from you. Maybe it's your position, or maybe it's just, you deserve more than what they're doing. And you know what? You're just not going to take that anymore. You're going to pay me X amount more, or I'm going to go get a job at so-and-so place, something like that. At least that's the energy that's going on. And when we talk about work, work is a big corner of a lot of Virgos' lives, because what if you don't work? What if you're retired? What if you're in college? There's different kind of frequencies, kind of depending on where you're at, of how this all hits. And the work corner being a big place, it's work, business, enterprise, area of study, collegiate courses, retirement if you're of that age, entrepreneurship, learning something new, hobbies and interests, and the JOB for most people. But all that stuff, whatever you got going on there, that's what they're referring to by defend your position with work. Let it play out in front of you a little bit, like zoom out. We have a ping in quadrant 2 for finances. They talk about good credit and good karma. So finances, we have a big improvement going on in quadrant 2, guys. And quadrant 2, of course, is April, May, and June. So we have nice financial moves happening for a lot of Virgos that month, or those 3 months, somewhere in there. Maybe it's just 1 month. Hopefully it's all 3. We have a health ping coming up in quadrant 2 with others. So this is something you do not want to do alone. This is something you want to do at least with another person, maybe even a bigger group. It's like, a challenge at work, like, hey, we're going to go into teams and see who can lose the most weight in, a month or whatever it is. So you're doing something with others. That's a silly example, but you get the energy. They basically say that it's time to clean up something with your health too. So this is the best 3 months here where, you know what? I'm going to finally get onto this. Hey, I needed to add more muscle. Hey, I needed to stop eating out all the time. Hey, I needed to start adding vitamins. I always forget to take the good things that I need to take. Whatever it is here, juicing, all kinds of different things. It could be people. So, different people too, but they bring up with others. So you want to do this with other people, and that is good to keep the vibe up. Hold yourself accountable and like really kind of bounce the energy off each other. We have a busy, productive ping for Virgo in Quadrant 2, basically saying here that knowledge provided with rewards. So this is something you don't know now. This is something that Spirit is going to tell you about later or basically present to you in this quadrant of Quadrant 2, April, May, and June. And it's going to have really good rewards if you get busy with this. So they're saying, hey, here's this opportunity. What are you going to do with it? Hopefully you take it and you go and you get busy with it. That's the key word there, busy and productive. Get busy with it and you're going to get the rewards from it too. So great opportunities there, probably for work and finance there, but it's not specific. So that knowledge provided with rewards, that could fall anywhere. That could really go anywhere. I don't think it's love because we haven't had a love ping until 3, next one. But just kind of looking at the other ones here. We haven't had a work ping either though, interestingly enough. So more than likely it has to do with health or finances. And that is it for Quadrant 2. Quadrant 3, here's the big one, guys. The big Quadrant 3, lots to talk about. The big theme is old recurring lessons to be expected. So expect to be challenged from the universe on stuff that keeps happening to you. Okay, like they're basically saying, hey, has Virgo learned this lesson? Well, let's go find out. Here's another test. Has Virgo learned this lesson now? Especially tough ones for Virgo. They show that this is one that you guys have a hard time overcoming. So the universe in these 3 months of, July, August, and September, expect to be tested in these ways. Hopefully you guys pass it, especially the fact that we're pre-warning you that, you will be tested. We have a work ping for, just about everything. Let's start with work. This is the first time work came in specifically to your spread as a ping. Quadrant 3, major decision gets made in regards to work. And we did talk about how big that work corner is. So be flexible with what these major changes are. And it's getting made, I'm assuming, by you. It could be a decision made by other people, but it's affecting you. And you need to be flexible here. Go with the flow. Don't be rigid. Go with the current. Don't go against it. We have a love ping for love. This is the first time love came up. Like I told you, it's just a year. But we have wins and losses coming in there. So, wins are part of that. Okay, good things can come. We want to avoid the bad. Of course, there are losses. There's good and bad. There's going to be a mixed field here. And if you're good at figuring out red flags and people's true character and stuff like that, you're probably good to go here in Quadrant 3. And if you're not good at that stuff, you're going to experience some difficulty in Quadrant 3, long story short. And, with love, even being like, you're coupled up, you're married, if you're one of those instead of my singles, here they're talking about wins and losses as far as really good highs, really big lows. So it's very much the roller coaster energy for the love, the family corner, long story short. So goods and bads, guys, it's a mixed bag. And for finances, we have a ping here for event for work. And that is one that I'm very curious about because there's something here that you guys can do for work that is going to improve your finances, but it's coming up in the financial sector as an event, something that you go do, maybe outside of the normal path here. It makes me feel like, if you make jewelry, you're going to an expo, you're going to a show where you can display your art, a craft fair, something like that. And it's going to bring in more money as a result of that. So if that's something that applies to you, it's something you should absolutely go for. We have a ping coming in for health again here. Work and health balance. So this is something that you can get healthier with at work, in the workplace. So whether it's taking a walk during some of your breaks or lunches, or maybe eating a certain way at work. That's probably a big thing for a lot of people too. Or work programs that if your place of business does something for health to get you motivated and get interested in health. That could be a factor there too. We have another ping for busy and productive in Quadrant 3, and they show that you're getting busy and productive into something here that you find very interesting. So this is something that you're passionate about and that you care about. And of course, getting busy into that kind of stuff doesn't feel like busy because you enjoy it. And that is good advice to show really is, that's the kind of stuff you want to get busy in. So that's wonderful to see. We have our second ping here coming in. 4, vacation, relaxation. Excuse me. Been choking on this incense all morning. Breathing that in. Sure, that's wonderful for my health, speaking of health. Vacation and relaxation. Quadrant 3, we bring in good luck, which basically means good set of circumstances that just works out. It's not your fault that it's good luck. It's not anybody else's fault either. It's just, things working out in weird ways. Kind of a synchronicity type of deal. Good luck. That's what that Wheel of Fortune card means. And I feel like, they gave us, I believe it was my Treasure Island card, because that makes me feel very tropical. And since we're talking about vacation, maybe a tropical destination here in Quadrant 3, which is July, August, and September. And if this is a vacation, if you got kids, more than likely this is you here in July, before they go back to school in August, or maybe early August. And for everybody else, it could be any time in these three months. But they also show that's pretty much it, because we talked about tropical. So the last kind of ping here for Quadrant 3, which has been a very one full of information, is safe and conservative. And they basically are saying what to play safe here is showing constraints. So really your decision making, knowing when to go for something, knowing when to not go for something. This is kind of the lesson of maturity. Also figuring out what's best for you versus what's not best for you. That kind of makes me feel like the love thing about wins and losses too. If you're good at that stuff, knowing what's best for you, it's good. If you're not, you struggle with it, it's going to be more struggle. So that's what we show here for Quadrant 3, guys. Let's get into 4. Quadrant 4, October, November, and December. The main theme is new chapter in life really kicks off here, guys, and I feel like for a lot of you, this has to do with the work corner. This could, of course, be different areas of your life, but for a lot of people, this is going to be a Virgo work deal in October, November, and December. Really a new chapter, and what that chapter is about is going to be strongly decided on the decisions you make these 3 months. We have a ping for work also saying many options, so choose wisely. That sounds a little bit familiar. We've talked about that a couple times in Quadrant 3 too. It's coming up again in 4 as, to choose wisely here. So be discretionary with what you're doing, your decision making and so forth. Quadrant 4, we have that final ping for love. They talk about family money here, and this message is coming in early. So we have good Virgo money moving in with the family, or money being spent on the family here in Quadrant 4. So that's the purpose for this Love Corner message, really, is that it has to do with the family, and it's happening early in Quadrant 4, which is like probably October or early November. Let's call it before Thanksgiving. We have good family money coming in or available there. Interesting how they did that. Now we also have taking risks and going for it. Quadrant 4 was the one and only one that they really want Virgos to do that. This is more of a conservative year for my Virgos, but they really show you taking risks in Quadrant 4 in getting good rewards, good accomplishments. It's my trophy card case, so you guys are getting goals done, getting accomplishments done, feeling good about things, emotional attachments that you are very close to your heart here that are coming in Quadrant 4. So this is the time, guys, October, November, and December, to launch, to go for it, and to not be afraid of being safe and conservative, like the messages were so strong for the 3 quadrants before. So that is the entire thing, guys. Now, as you can see, this is like an outline, and that is why this is so important for planning and preparation, knowing this kind of information. And of course, this is a lot of Virgo bubble energy that is part of this, and Spirit's still able to be very accurate with it. In a magic way that I don't understand, but I'm very grateful for. But at the end of the day, it's a fact that nothing beats a personal private reading, and I offer Quadrants, this exact same thing on a personal level. It is an audio product, and it is available for January only. It's available for purchase on the website, scottsagent.com. Hope you guys check that out and can implement positive change into your entire year. Hit it confidently, hit it in strength, and move forward in pride, and do all things well. So that is the entire thing, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great 2023. I'll talk to you guys soon.